I'm Miracle, and thanks for joining me today as we talk about my obsessive dreaming of two friends for the past few years. More like 15 years. That's fine. For most of my childhood, I grew up in an apartment complex, and when I was about 8, I met a couple of sisters. We'll call them Martha and Beatrice. Martha was the oldest of the two. She was 3 years younger than me, and then Beatrice was 3 years younger than her sister, Martha, so about 6 years younger than me. We met at this location that would end up being like the spot. It was pretty sweet because none of the apartment doors faced it, so we had some privacy that way, but we also could see the street. You couldn't see us from the street because there was raised landscaping. The most important part though is that it had the quintessential electrical utility box. It was great. So anyway, the day that we met, we ended up hiding behind the bushes, chunking pieces of bark at cars passing by and yelling, "Barf!" It never reached the street even, please don't worry, nobody got hurt. I feel like I should set the scene in that this is like the early 2000s, so like our parents knew where we were, but it wasn't like we were always in their direct line of sight. And I feel like this would not happen today, especially living in an apartment complex, because I do not see just like 3 random kids roaming around with no parents in sight. No shade or judgment to my parents though. Well, in this situation. In my memory, it feels like we spent every day together, playing outside as much as we could, playing Lost on an island. If we couldn't play outside, we were inside playing Lost on a boat. And we did this pretty much until we moved away from each other, which is when I turned about 16. Ironically, we ended up both moving around the same time. But once we moved, things just kind of ended. In my memory, it was really abrupt, but like Martha and I still went to high school together, so I would occasionally have lunch with her or just run into her in the hallway. But for the most part, like I never saw Beatrice again after that. You would think, okay, like a couple of friends moved apart, you know, things change, drift apart slowly, except for not for me, because I keep obsessively dreaming about them and it's been like 15 years. In general, I'm a super vivid dreamer. I'm used to like complex storylines, layers to it, and sometimes some trauma thrown in for spice. And I have had recurring dreams. The most extreme example would be when I was in an abusive relationship. I would constantly dream about going to the restroom in public, but there were no stall doors and everybody was just like watching me go to the restroom. It's very horrifying and traumatizing. Thank you very much for asking. One would think, why? Why do you have recurring dreams of them? And I like, believe me, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering so myself. Brought it to my therapist and I was like, excuse me, therapist. I keep having these recurring dreams. They bother me, they're annoying, and they make me feel like poo-poo in the morning. And instead of like simply fixing it, and just giving me like a simple 1 + 1 = 2 solution, they made me look deep within myself and try to figure it out. And let me tell you, it's still happening, so. This is not to say that my therapist does not help me, just that therapy, man. Solving your problems is super hard. The first conclusion we came to was that this is kind of like a big symbol for the end of my childhood. I mean, most of the dreams I have of them are us just like playing and hanging out, especially before I had this conversation with my therapist. One of the things I would have recurring dreams of is us going and like swimming in the swimming pool in the apartment complex, because during the summer, like we did that every day. It was great. So you can see, like, I have really good memories of them and like vivid enjoyment. I have to tell you a story. It's so embarrassing. One time we were playing like I guess it was like a voodoo shop is the best way I could describe it. And I was like head voodoo queen, witch, whatever. I don't know. We didn't use these words. And so I had like this herb shop and I was making a stew. And a kid who also lived in our apartment complex, who is the same age as me, this is like in 8th grade, This is in 8th grade. Came up to me and was like, why are you playing such childish games? And I was like, ah! My point is, I spent a lot of my childhood with them. They really did represent like that. Childhood whimsy for me. So like I said, when I was about 16 is when we both moved. And 16 was a big year for me in not fun ways. This was not only the year that I entered into an abusive relationship, but this was also the year that like I feel like I started having a really unhealthy relationship with school and just being really obsessive about my studying and not understanding like a school life balance. Not that it even existed back then. They would come over and they would like beg for me to come and hang out with them, and I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't, I have schoolwork, or you know, like I would have schoolwork and so much to do because I'd be so busy in my bed panicking. And I just remember them begging for me to hang out and play with them, and I feel so bad that when I wasted that time. Like, I mean, it's important to study and it's important to do it, but in no way was I like doing it in a healthy way. I didn't hang out or, hey guys, let's go hang out. I feel so terrible that I can't fix this. And essentially it's like a symbol of like, I can't fix, one, how my childhood finished, or how my childhood completed itself, and two, that like, that feeling is almost like not possible to get back. Not to say it isn't, you know, I try in my own ways, but so just like I feel like there was an abrupt ending to that relationship, I also feel like there's an abrupt ending to my childhood. Tight. So after I had this conversation with my therapist, the dreams stopped for a little bit and then they ramped right back up. But this time, even more fun. The oldest Martha in my dreams was telling me to leave, that she didn't want to hang out with me. And then I was like, oh my God, were we not really friends? I mean, and then I start like hyper fixating on this, and I still struggle with this like hyper fixation of like, oh my God, like, do they even like me? Like, we've never been in each other's cars. We weren't really invited to each other's birthday parties, things like that. So were we really even friends? But then I think like, I just mentioned that they were begging to hang out with me. Like, between the three of us, I really did feel like I was like the third sister. I do have an older sister, but she's very social and has a different dad, so she wasn't always there on the weekends. I went through puberty with them. I watched them go through puberty each time. That it was so horrible. I feel bad for each one of us having to deal with that pain. Like, we were friends, right? Right? And then the dreams like evolved even more. Their mom like started telling me to go away. So now Martha wanted to hang out with me and Beatrice wanted to hang out with me, but now their mom was telling me I couldn't hang out with them. And I was like, oh my God, was I annoying? Like, we hung out mainly at their house, and oh my God, do they not want me there? Was I being a burden? Oh my God. So then I get obsessive about that. When I tell you, this has literally been since I'd say I graduated high school. It's been a while. Another thing is I'm so confused. I don't even know what is real and what isn't real sometimes between these dreams and between what happened in real life. Not only like when I'm in the dream or when I kind of dozily wake up from the dream, but right now I can't tell you what I'm about to say if it's real or not. In my dreams, I remember like so they lived like in the same building, but behind me. So I would go around back to the building and see if they were there, and like their stuff was there, but they wouldn't be there, or one of their parents would be there, but they weren't there. And this feeling just, my heart, it's heart-wrenching to me, and it makes me feel miserable, even right now saying it. It feels so stupid because it's a dream. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Then you're thinking, okay, well, like maybe we could get some closure. But I can't, and let me tell you why. I tried reaching out to them after I graduated high school and like, hey, let's hang out. I reached out via Facebook, and they're not very active on Facebook, so like it's not surprising. that they weren't like really responsive, but the oldest sister just ignored the message. Like it said read, ignored the message. Beatrice was like, yeah, for sure. And when I was like, okay, well, I'll be here these dates because I was out of state in college. No response. Then I think I went a step too far. This is like when the obsessive dreaming about like Martha not wanting to hang out with me started, is when this was all going on. I reached out to their mom and I was like, hey, can you like either give me their phone number or give them my phone number so that I can just text them and let them know. And nothing came of fruition to that. I have this belief, and like, not that I think my videos mean much, but like if we're gonna take some piece of meaning out of my video, is that I don't believe other people can give you closure, only yourself can give you closure, because you're risking, like in this situation, risking that they're not gonna do what you need. You have to be that person for you. I had expected that they could give me closure, and unfortunately, I am sitting here trying to give myself closure. I just recently brought this back up to my therapist because I told her I was making this video, and I told her, hey, like the dreams are here and they're still pretty bad. She was like, okay, so what does this friendship like mean to you? We came to the conclusion that like these were friends that didn't give up on me. Even though I was going through some serious things, like they never gave up on me. My therapist was like, maybe that's what you need for yourself. Well, at first she said maybe your friends, and I was like, let me tell you, I only hang out with ride or die friends. Like all my friends are here nonstop for me. She was like, well, maybe it's because you don't give that to yourself. And I was like, ooh. So now I'm trying to give that to myself. That's where we're at in this series, is me trying to be the Martha Beatrix for myself. And do I low-key hope that I post this and they see it and then they're like, OMG, let's hang out? I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, maybe it would give me closure. But like, for the love of God, I would love for these dreams to end. Guess what I dreamt about last night? This. Guess what I dream about 3 times a night? This. So yes, I'm looking for some closure here in this video. We'll see if I get it through 30 hours of editing. But I don't know how to end this because there's no happy ending. Like, this is where I'm at right now, is dreaming about this multiple times a week. And it's an actual therapy topic for me. And I wish I could have a better conclusion to this video, but that's where we're at. But thanks for watching, for real. I appreciate it if you got through this whole entire thing. If not, that's cool too. But yeah, maybe like this video, maybe subscribe to my channel. Help a girl out. Really though, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Bye!